Hello friends, my name is BK Kolapre. Today we'll discuss about the topic on shear stress diagram. We know that we have come across two types of stresses. One is normal stress, in which the stresses are acting perpendicular to plane, and the second one is the shear stress, and these shear stress are acting parallel to plane. Parallel to the plane. So shear stresses are stresses acting parallel to the plane. We have seen in the video for shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. It was observed that where bending moment is maximum, shear force is 0, or it changes sign from positive to negative or negative to positive. And where bending moment is 0, at that point shear force is maximum, or where bending moment is maximum, shear force is 0, and when shear force is maximum, bending moment will be 0. This we already seen in the SFD and BMD chapter. Suppose if I take a rectangular beam, width B and depth D, we know this is a neutral axis where the stresses are 0. Now here if I draw the bending moment diagram, bending stress diagram, which we already done in earlier video, we see that the bending stress is maximum compressive on the upper layer and the bending stress is maximum on the lower layer. This is tensile and compressive. If I join these two, we see that at the neutral axis bending stresses are 0, maximum at the top and bottom. So if I draw for the same, if I go on this line where shear force is maximum, bending moment is 0, and when bending moment is 0, shear force is maximum. If you see here, the bending stresses are maximum here, so shear force will be 0 or shear stress will be 0. It is maximum here, shear stress is 0, whereas bending stresses are 0 here, so we expect the shear stress to be maximum at the neutral axis. So this is a straight line distribution. In bending stress shear stress diagram, we see that the distribution of the stress diagram is a parabolic. So at the top and bottom shear stresses are 0 and shear stress is always maximum at the neutral axis. So this is the basis for which we will be doing the shear stress analysis. As in theory of pure bending, we come across a formula M by I is equal to F by Y is equal to E by R. Here also in case of bending stress, we get bending stress at any level as F A Y bar divided by I B, where Q is the shear stress and F is the shear force at the section. AY is the important part here. This A stands for area and Y stands for the distance. It is the area of moment, moment of area. It is moment of area above the level, about neutral axis. It is the moment of area above the level, about neutral axis. Suppose this is the rectangular section. If this is a neutral axis, if I want to know shear force, so this is the area above the plane, about the neutral axis. So A bar, I is the moment of inertia and B is the width of beam at the level. So if I take this as the level, the width of the beam at this point will be B. So this is the formula, derived formula. So derivation we have seen in the notes. So today we will take up some of the problems on shear stress diagram. So we will go first with the simple figure. What we are using here is a rectangle, and we will see the type of distribution of the shear stress diagram for the rectangular beam. So for that, let us see. If I take a rectangular beam, if B is the width and if D is the depth of the beam, we know the neutral axis of the beam is at the center, so this distance will be D by 2 and this distance will be equal to D by 2. I'll consider a level here. Suppose if I call this as EF, A, B, C, D is the beams cross section, and EF if I consider a level, and if this level if I consider at a distance of y from the neutral axis, then this distance what we are seeing will be D by 2 minus y. So this distance will be equal to D by 2 minus y. This is a rectangle. We need the moment of the area above the level. So moment of area will be B into this distance. This distance is D by 2 minus y, and it will be acting at the centroid. And if I take centroid, so this distance will be equal to this distance. So this will be half of this one. This is half of D by 2 minus y. D by 2 minus y. Then what will be the distance from here to the neutral axis? So this distance will be y plus this distance, half of D by 2 minus y. Now this figure will help us to find out the shear stress acting at a section. Suppose here we take the shear stress formula is given by F A y bar divided by I B. F A y bar by I B. So let us take area of shaded portion. Shaded portion above EF. Above EF, that is this area. So this area will be B into D by 2 minus y. So it will be B into D by 2 minus y. So this is the area of the element, and if I want to know this moment of this area A into y about the neutral axis, so this is nothing but area which is B into D by 2 minus y, and the distance is from neutral axis y in plus y plus half of D by 2 plus y. So this will give the value of B A into y bar. This is the moment of the area above the level EF. So here if I simplify this, we get this is B by 2 into D raised to 2 by 4 minus y square. D squared by 2 minus y square is the simplification of this. Now if I use this formula, Q is equal to F A y bar by I B. Q will be equal to F is as it is, F A y bar will be B by 2 into D squared by 4 minus y square divided by I. Moment of inertia of a rectangle is B D cube by 12 into B. B is the width of the beam at the level. So width of the beam at that level is B. So if you simplify this equation, we get Q is equal to 6F by B D cube into D squared by 4 minus y square. Here variable is y, so y is to the power of 2. So the type of curve what we get is a parabolic. So this is a parabolic distribution. Bending stress we have seen straight line. Here the distribution is parabolic distribution. So this is the formula which you can use for a rectangular section to plot the bending stress diagram. Suppose if I want to plot the bending stress diagram here. This is a neutral axis we see bending stress is just a straight line, maximum compression, maximum tension, sigma T, sigma C, neutral axis. Now if I go for the bending stress diagram across the cross section of the beam, so we have got two values. Y is varying from 0 to d by 2. So when y is equal to d by 2, when y is equal to d by 2, so y square by 4, so this value will become 0 at top and bottom. At top and bottom. At both the points, the bending stress, shear stress will be 0. If you plot it, it is 0, it is 0. And it is maximum at neutral axis. So when y is equal to 0, then we get q is equal to 3 by 2 into f by bd. F by bd. So here we get at the neutral axis, this value is 2 by 3 into f by bd. And how to join these 3 points? So we know the type of distribution what we get is a parabolic distribution. So this is the shear stress diagram. This is the shear stress diagram. We find that the shear stress is given by shear force by shear area. So I can say the maximum shear stress that is acting at any section, at the section, is given by 3 by 2 Q average, and this Q average is nothing but F by BD. So this also I can write it as, it is 1.5 times of Q average. So maximum shear stress is 1.5 times of average shear stress. So this is the way you have to plot the shear stress diagram. I have shown for rectangular section, others are shown in the notes given to you. Now usually we come across in the problems like rectangular section, I section, T section, L section. Just we will see what will be the type of bending stress diagram what we get. For rectangle, this is a type of bending stress diagram. Remember the formula? Shear stress, maximum shear stress is given by F A y bar divided by IB. Suppose if I see a I section, so now here we see this is a flange, this is a flange, and this is a web. This is one level where the width is the width of the flange. This is a second level where the width will be width of the web only. This is third level. Again 2 and 3 will be same because the width is same, and this one is the fourth level. So we come across 4 levels along which we will be drawing the shear stress diagram. We know if I project it, we have got Q is equal to F A y bar by IB. If I take this level, A y bar will remain same, I will be same, F will be same, only change will be in the width. Suppose if I plot a bending shear stress diagram, it will be parabolic. From here to here it will be parabolic. B. Now if you see to this level 2 and 3, the width of the beam is very less. When width is less, definitely Q will be jumping here. So this is the stress diagram, and we know the maximum shear stress is at the neutral axis, and if you plot a point here, if you get a diagram, so this is the type of shear stress diagram what you get for I section. Suppose if it is a T section, just a hint for you how you get the bending stress diagram. So this is the neutral axis, it will be toward the upper side. So this is the shear stress diagram, this is level 1, this is level 2, and this is level 3. Now if I go for the shear stress diagram, so this will be parabolic. Here it will have a jump because the width is less. Again, if this is a neutral axis, maximum value will be at the neutral axis, and here at the bottom shear stress is 0. So bottom and top shear stress are, this is the Q max at the neutral axis, this is Q max at the neutral axis. So these are the types of diagrams what you get for I section and T section. We'll take up a simple problem and try to draw the shear stress diagram. Let's just take a simply supported beam supported at the ends. Suppose this is carrying a UDL for whole length of 3 kilonewton per meter. Let the span of the beam be 5 meters. If the cross section of the beam is a rectangular cross section, if I take it as B and D, then you are required to find out what are the dimensions of B and D necessary for a simply supported beam carrying load of 3 kN per meter on a span of 5 meters. The condition given is the width of the beam is 2/3 of depth. Width of the beam is 2/3 of depth. So you'll have to find out the width, you'll have to find out the depth. So here we'll use the shear stress equations to solve the problem. It is a symmetrically loaded beam, so you get the reactions at RA and RB, and we have seen that the reactions are maximum at the supports and the shear force is also maximum at the support. So Q if is equal to RA is equal to RB. So total load is WL divided by 2. So W is 3 into L is 5 divided by 2. So the maximum shear force acting is 7.5 kilonewton. So you got the shear force acting. We know the maximum shear stress for a rectangular beam is given by 3 by 2 Q average. And we know Q average is given by F by BD. Q average equal to F by BD. So here in the problem it is mentioned that if the maximum permissible shear stress is, suppose if I take it as 7 Newton per mm square. If the maximum permissible shear stress is 7 Newton per mm square, then how much should be B and D? So in this equation, you know all the things except B and D. So you know Q max is permissible maximum shear stress is 7 Newton per mm square is equal to 3 by 2 into F is the shear force acting 7.5. It is in kilonewton, convert it in Newton divided by B. B is nothing but 2/3 of D. And this remains as D. So if you simplify this equation, you get the value of D is equal to 49.1 mm. If I substitute the value of D in this equation, I'll get the value of B. So B given here is 2/3 of D. So this will be equal to 2/3 of D value is 49.1. You get B is equal to 32.73 mm. Very simple problem to find out the cross section of the beam knowing the maximum permissible shear stress. So in such problems, one thing will be given, another thing will be asked you. Here maximum shear stress is given, load is given, span is given, you are required to find out B and D. Or I'll give B and D, I'll give the maximum shear stress and ask you to find out how much is the load acting on the beams. So different categories will be there. Data will be given. What data is given, what is to be found out, you will have to verify and solve the equation. Suppose if I take a simply supported beam, if the span of this beam is 2 meters, if it is carrying UDL, W per meter W kilonewton per meter. If this is a UDL acting, now here you are required to find out the UDL acting. The given condition is the maximum stress, bending stress is 28 Newton per mm square, and the maximum shear stress acting is 2 Newton per mm square. 2 Newton per mm square, and the cross section of the beam is 100 mm by 150 mm. So in this case, cross section is given, span is given, you are required to find out the load. Two conditions are given to. One is the bending stress and another is the shear stress. So you will be finding out bending UDL for this and UDL for this, and whichever is the less you can permit, that is the bending load or the UDL that can be permitted. So here first you find out the reactions. RA is equal to RB, which is nothing but the shear force acting at the support. So this will be equal to WL by 2. So here L is 2. So this will be equal to W kilonewton. So you got the UDL acting as W kilonewton. So we can find out, we are given bending stress. So we know M by I is equal to F by Y. So here we know the bending stress, we can find out the bending moment. So we can find out I. So using this relation also we can find out how much is the UDL that can be permitted. So here the bending moment acting will be equal to WL squared by 2. So this will be equal to 2 is 4. So this will be 0.5 W kilonewton meter. Kilonewton meter. So here if I substitute in this equation, M is equal to I by Y into F. So here you know M is 0.5 W into 10 to the power of 6, convert it in Newton mm. So this will be equal to I, moment of inertia of rectangle is B d cube by 12. So this is 100 into D is 150 cube divided by 12 into permissible bending stress is 28 Newton per mm square divided by Y. Y is the distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. It's a rectangle. So this will be 150 by 2. So only unknown here is W. If you simplify for W, you get the value of W as 21 kilonewton per meter. This is the load you can allow based upon the bending stress. On same line, we will see based upon shear stress. We know the maximum shear stress in a rectangular beam is 2 by 3 F by BD. F by BD. So we know the maximum shear stress given to is 2 Newton per mm square. So this must be equal to 3 by 2 into F. Shear force acting is nothing but W into 10 to the power of 3 to convert it in Newton divided by B is 100, D is 150. 100 into 150. So if you simplify this, you get the value of D as 20 kilonewton per meter. So based upon bending stress, you can allow this much, but based upon shear stress, you can allow this much. So whichever is the less, that is to be taken into account. So the permissible bending stress UDL that can be allowed on the beam is the lesser of the two, that is nothing but 20 kilonewton per meter, lesser of the two. So this is the UDL that will be permitted on the beam. So like this, we go either for the cross section of the beam or the UDL acting on the beam. We will see other type of problem, actually how to draw the shear stress diagram in the next video. Thank you. So this was today's video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos. Press the bell icon for notification. Comment for questions in the comment section. Thank you.